Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, or as Kelvin and I would call it, the season finale of this journey that we are on. I know we haven't really uploaded. What it has been 2 3 weeks now.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's just I had a lot of things going on. I recently moved, and I am loving my new place. I don't know if you could tell. I got like a monitor behind me now. It's just a better place. I'm liking my office. How have you been, Kel?
Um, well, if I'm honest, not the best, should we say, since I came back off my
Okay.
holiday. I've been struggling with some stuff. It's hmm. Well, of the holiday was awesome. Don't get me wrong, that was good. We really needed that. It's because
Okay.
um Naomi, she works 6 days a week. So quite often we don't spend that much time together. So
I see.
and last year we never organized our time off together. So she was off for 2 weeks earlier
Mm.
on this year. Then I was off for 2 weeks, but we're not off, never off together. So this was the only week we could go on holiday and actually spend some time together.
Mm.
So it was nice, but when we came back, we had to start getting used to being apart again, going to work. And she's at work all the time. Like I'm off this week, like
Yeah.
4 days, 4 or 5 days, and I only got to spend one day with her, and that
Oh. Wow.
was Wednesday.
What does she? What does she do for work?
She works for the local train company, Merseyrail. So she sells tickets in the office.
Oh, okay.
And
I
they have a
see.
shop as well, so she sells stuff. I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
joke. I like the
Okay.
joke that she sells sweets to crackheads because nearby there's a hostel that houses a lot of drug addicts, and they come in like when
Okay.
afterwards, and they come and they need that sugar rush for some reason. I don't know how it works. I've never, but
uh,
yeah, she says yeah,
oh man.
that's a thing that happens. But yeah, but they have this old roster from like early 2000s that they just took. Like they just accepted the contract and they haven't changed it for like 20 years or something. And it means that they have to work
Mm.
6 days a week. And it's everyone hates
Wow.
it. Like they have she started working on the barriers, like uh, a platform assistant, and that was even worse than what she's got now. Because now
Mm.
I think it's something like every 6 weeks or something, she'll have a long weekend off. In on
Mm.
previously, it was like 6 days every week.
Oh.
Um,
Yeah.
so she's trying to hope yeah, she can do it. She's trying to move on to the next level. Um,
Yeah. It's. Oof.
yeah, it's hard. So
Yeah.
like on these days, like I haven't told you, but for like the past almost 2 months, I've been addicted to a video game. I mean, playing it apart from the 5 days I was away, I couldn't play it, but well, pretty much every day I've played it. Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay. So tell me this: when you were on vacation, were you thinking about this game?
I thought I was gonna be thinking about it a lot more, but no, not really.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But the first month I started playing it, when I wasn't playing it, I was constantly thinking about it. Thinking about it all I was
Mm.
dreaming about it. I was, um, just watching, consuming all the content about it.
Yeah.
Um, but now that I've come back to it, like yesterday was the first day I properly played it all day, and I felt a little bit like, "Ugh, this is a waste of time." But
Mm.
I'm not ready. Like, how'd you say that? I think it's because I had that week off it, where you kind of every time you stay away from video games for a while, you kind of feel. But
Yeah.
the thing is, it's the best game I've ever played in my life. It's the first game that I
What's
played,
it called?
Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay.
First game, I'd
I'll
say
look
in
it
a
up.
decade that has gripped me like this, honestly. I
Mm.
haven't become obsessed with a video game like this for about 10 years, I'd say.
Does the game end?
It ends. There's no
Okay.
microtransactions. It's such a breath of fresh air in modern gaming. Like there's no
Mhm.
battle pass, no microtransactions, nothing like that. It's just
Mhm.
a
Mhm.
full
Mhm.
game. But there's like 3 acts to it, and I've made it to the 3rd act, but I still haven't completed it. But it's like the thing that grips me, I'm sorry, this is gone to video games,
No, you're
but it's
fine.
like, the options you can take in the game and talking to friends that have played
Okay.
it, like, it's so varied the way you can do about it, like, the
Yeah.
options you take matter in the whole game, and I keep going back thinking, "Oh, I wish I didn't do that, wish I did that, wish I didn't let that person die, wish I" you know? So
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got, like, 5 save game files, and only one of them is in an act 3, the rest are still in act 1. So it's like, ugh.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
like, like, I don't know, like, you probably I think everyone has this when you play a video game, you wanna be the good guy, right? You wanna save everyone, you wanna save everything, but
Yeah.
it's very hard to do that in this game. But, like,
Mm.
it just lets you kill everyone if you want to. That's the type of game it
Oh
is. Yeah,
wow.
it's cool.
Wow.
So, yeah, I've been obsessed with that.
Yeah. Would you say that's an ADHD thing, right? Like where you get hyper fixated or hyper focused um
Yeah, definitely.
on one thing?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it used to happen a lot more when I was a kid. Like, I used to get hyper focused on, like, reading Harry Potter. Like, when I was a kid, we went on holiday to Paris. Well, it was a European trip, right? And for the first 4
Mhm.
days of that trip, we were traveling through Luxembourg, the Netherlands, onto France. For the first 4 days of that trip, I didn't do anything except read the book. I didn't care where we were, what was going on. I just had to finish the book, and my parents had to stop me so that I could have my meals. Um, but yeah,
Wow.
that's and when I was finished, then I could enjoy my holiday. So that's but so it used to be like that for video games. Like remember when we used to
Yeah.
play FIFA for hours and hours or
Yeah.
Grand Theft
Yeah.
Auto, San Andreas would just be playing that all
Yeah.
night long. It used to be a lot worse when I was a kid when it came to video games. But as I've gotten older,
Yeah.
I find that I get bored of video games pretty easily. Like I'll play the first hour or
Yeah.
so and then I just won't care. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
grip me. Whereas this, or even books, I can't even read books anymore. I really struggle reading books. But yeah, as I say, this is the first time in about a decade that a video game has gripped me so much,
Mm.
which I find crazy.
Yeah. I I think the only game that has that effect on me right now, or has had that effect on me for a long time, is FIFA. But now that there's no FIFA 24, it's just FC 24. I'm not. I haven't purchased it. I'm not planning on purchasing it. But I'll get like, so right now I'm into um cinematography,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Making videos?
Which
Filming?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, filming, getting lenses and
Oh,
filters.
what camera are you using then?
My iPhone. So mobile
Oh.
cinematography. Yeah. Um and it's the same thing. I would get like super obsessed with it and focused with it. Like I have a gimbal, that
Oh.
I put
What
my
is that?
phone in so it
Is
stabilizes
that an
it.
Osmo?
It's a deep, yeah, it's an Osmo.
I've always wanted one of them.
Yeah, I mean, but it's hard, right? Because I'll get so focused on
Mm.
something and then I'll spend like hours researching it. What's the best filter? What's the best way? What are the camera
Mm.
settings? Like I have a grip, I have the
Mm.
lenses as well, like the ND
Whoa.
filters and the mist filter. Um
Do they just clip on the back of the
actually
phone?
and yes, that you have like a case and stuff like that. I just ordered a what's it called? Anamorphic lens,
Mm.
which gives you like a flare and it gives you like the ultra wide aspect. But I try to get those things on like deals,
Mm.
right? Like I'm not spending like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Like,
Yeah.
I'll get it for like 50 or 70% off where it's like,
That's pretty good, like
uh, uh yeah. But anyways, what I was gonna say is like I'll do all of this research and I'll get fixated with it. And that's all I could think about
yeah.
the entire time. So it's not for me. It's not just like video games. It's not just. It's just something that I'll interested with. You know, like personal
Yeah.
training. Like I get obsessed with like learning the body. So I think it could be. It can be
That
useful.
that's something like my girlfriend. She says that, like, for me, it was personal finance recently, right? That's what really,
Yeah.
like, been consumed by it. But it's like I
Yeah.
want to make fitness my obsession. I think once that becomes an obsession for me, I can, but because anything can interest me. Like, I've consumed so
Yeah.
much freaking like information on like nutrition and health,
Yeah.
like sleep and everything, psychology, like freaking ADHD. Like, because before I
Yeah.
was officially diagnosed, I was it took me about 2 years where I was like thinking, I think I've got it right. So I started consuming all the,
Yeah.
but I'm the same. Like, I become obsessed about stuff all the time. But do you ever
Yeah.
find like that you completed something? Like for me, when I was younger, do you remember when we were growing up and you started to get earphones with, because when we were younger, MP3 players started coming out, right? And
Yeah.
um you used to get, like, quite often the only earphones you had were the ones you got free with your phone, and it was like this stupid thing, and they were
Mm-hmm.
just like the
Mm-hmm.
old iPhone earphones where they just sit in your ear, and then you started getting
Yeah.
like in-ear earphones, and they you could
Yeah.
feel the bass and they sounded so much better. So that
Mm-hmm.
for me actually became an obsession, like getting better and better earphones, and I don't even know how much money I've spent on audio equipment, but I
Yeah.
feel like I'm at a place where I don't care what is new because I'm happy with what I have now. Like, I
Yeah.
like the one like the last major thing I bought audio wise was a subwoofer. 'Cause I got two nice speakers
Okay.
and I have a subwoofer because I wanted a bit more bass in my
Yeah.
setup for the computer. But we also watch movies off this. But
Yeah.
um I was obsessed with in-ear monitors because that's what I grew up thinking, oh, they sound, the bass is in your ear. I kind of wish I went through the headset route because they sound so much better. I think
Yeah.
when you have the quiet stillness of a house, but the route I went with
Yeah.
the ones that go inside your ear. So, and I then became obsessed with a single brand. Sure, same brand as my microphone. Because they make in-ear
Okay.
monitors and they make these things like, I don't know if you know, but you can disconnect the part that goes in your ear from the cable. If the cable breaks, like they
Oh.
used to, and you used to have to wrap around your finger or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
you could
Yeah.
just buy a new
Yeah.
cable. And
Oh.
like the ones I have now, they're like, if you think about it, like in these, there's probably a single speaker playing music in your ear. In those, there's like
Mm-hmm.
four speakers in each single earpiece, and it sounds
Oh.
amazing. It sounds so. I have that, and
Yeah.
I'm happy with it. Um, but yeah, so but before I got those, it's like you're always like you have to start at the bottom, right? Like, oh, you can only afford the
Yeah.
cheap ones, which is like $100,
Yeah.
and then you're like, and that's expensive. If you think about earphone prices, that's a
Yeah.
lot of money, right? For especially
Yeah. Yeah.
10, 15
Yeah.
years ago, and
Yep.
then you get more expensive, and but then
Yeah.
every time you go up a level, you're eking out just a tiny little bit more performance, and you're like, "What's the point?" Then you
Yeah.
can start upgrading the cables, and it's stupid.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so,
It's
do you ever feel like, because you can
so
go buy unlimited amount of lenses, but you might never get
yeah.
to where you want to. So you need to have like
Yes.
a goal,
A bit.
right?
Yeah.
You have to reach
Yeah.
somewhere.
So I said yeah. So I said the only I need like two more things. So I wanted the anamorphic lens so I could get that nice white screen aspect and then like flare and that's basically the last thing that I want. Maybe at some point I would get like a stabilizing cage, like where you hold it like
Yeah,
like you could like keep it stable. But those are cheap. They're like $50. So I'm trying to keep it like at a reason. And okay, I wait for like deals like Black Friday or like Cyber Monday. or Prime Day where they'll give you like 30% off. So it's not like I have to have it now. Plus I also try to tell myself like, are you gonna pursue this? Like, is this something you could see yourself doing on the weekends for a long period of time instead of being interested in it now and then just get bored of it, right? Because I also have this thing where once I completed something, then it's done. Like off to the next,
Mhm.
right? So like I learned how to play the guitar. I wanted to have a
Yeah.
guitar. So I saved up money to buy a guitar. And once I was able to play the guitar for a little bit, I was like, okay, I know how to play the guitar. Bam, the guitar is then in somewhere not being
Mhm.
used, just catching dust, right? But I also have it where, like, for example, like when I started budgeting, if I don't have my budget done the last week for the next month, the last week of the month, I can't focus. That's all I think about. It's like I need to get this done before the next month starts. And if I don't, it's just in my head, just like,
Yeah.
you know. So it's a good and a bad thing because like my deadlines mean so much more to me. Um, I guess I can't just put it off anymore, if
But
that
that's
makes sense,
also
right?
an ADHD problem then. I mean, procrastination. Because because if you finish your budget, you wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
If you just like, I have that, like, because I know how bad I am with it. Like, if there's
Mhm.
some extra dishes after we've done cooking, I'm like, I have to wash them because if I don't wash them now, I'm never gonna wash them. I'll just leave
Yeah,
them there, you
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
Uh,
but
so do you see yourself once you're like, how long is this game?
well,
Like
technically, I could finish it if I wanted to, but I honestly see myself
okay,
because there's all right. So I'm playing 3 different playthroughs. All right, the first one
okay.
is me winging it, like trying to be as good as I can, but I've messed up. I've messed up a lot in it.
Mhm,
And the second one is me trying to be. I'm trying to save everyone. I'm trying to be as perfect as possible and just
mhm,
be a good person. Just save everyone, no matter what, you know.
mhm.
And the third one is an evil one where I'm killing everyone. So,
Your alter ego.
yeah. So I'm just trying to like because I messed up. Like I keep messing up and I'm thinking,
Yeah.
oh,
Do you want a
yeah,
perfect run through
yeah.
in one of them. I see that.
So
I
yeah, that's the plan
I have a hard time playing offline games.
because they're boring.
I think yeah, they're a little bit boring for me.
I I know I know plenty of people like you. I work with them and they only play FIFA and Call of Duty. Like those are the only 2 games they play.
Yeah.
And to me, I can't stand those games. Like the last one I played Apex. And
Yeah.
judging by my time, like I played 26 hours in total. And it's fun. I like to run around shooting people, but it's
Yeah.
there's nothing to it. There's no substance.
Yeah.
Whereas this
I guess for me it's the suspense for me. It's like, oh, I'm gonna die, or oh, this guy's gonna score against me. Like, you know, like the
it's like it keeps you yeah, I understand that actually.
yeah,
Is
yeah,
that maybe that's
yeah.
what 'cause that's kinda like it's a fear as well, isn't it? Because I could be like, "Oh, I'm so bad at Call of Duty. What's the point of even playing? Because everyone's just gonna kill me all the time."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I mean, there's some days that you know sometimes I remember playing FIFA and I would just get depressed afterwards because I get just like mangled, right? Like 10-0. I was like, man, like this guy is so much better than me. Why can't I beat you? Or
Yeah.
why do you keep scoring? Why am I so dumb? Like I'll just get into my head,
Yeah.
and it's I don't know, man. It's hard when you have this condition, I guess, and you're trying to validate it with a video game.
Mm.
How smart or stupid you are,
Uh,
right?
yeah.
Which it's just a video game.
I had
But that's
yeah.
me. That's my own personal
Well,
demon right there.
one of the things that I was struggling with that I said I was having a bad time recently was, because I'm so obsessed with personal finance, I feel like I have to be perfect with it, right? And I
Mhm, mhm.
felt recently like a failure. Like felt
Oh.
so. I was like, why am I so dumb? Why did I let this happen? Right. Um.
Mhm.
So before I went on holiday, it was about a week before, one of my tires started um leaking air. So I had to pump it every time before I drove it. And then I left it. I came back, and then the tire was flat, completely flat. But luckily,
Mhm.
Jono had put it on a jack stand so that it was raised. But then he put it down, and then because I came in the middle of the night off holiday, I didn't bother with it. The next day I come in, it's completely flat. So if that happens, if the car sits like that, usually the tire has to be replaced. And because
Yeah.
I drive not a cheap car, I can't replace one tire. I have to replace both sides. Um,
Mm.
because it has X drive, so it's all wheel drive. So if you only replace one side, it can damage the transfer casing, which will
Yeah,
cost
yeah,
thousands and thousands more to fix. So I just buy
yeah.
2 new tires. So I had to buy 2 new tires, which came to about just over £400 for 2 tires. And then that's another problem with the car. The It has staggered tires. So the front tires are different size to the back tires. They're all 19 inches, but the rear tires are wider. It's like
Mm.
it's meant to be sporty, but
Yeah.
so I can't just buy 4 tires. I have to buy 2 and 2, and then but only the rear tires needed replacing. So I ordered them,
Okay.
£400, and then my insurance needed renewing and road tax. So um, road tax was £570. They charged me 350 more, something like that, because the car cost over £40,000 when it was new. Because it costs more than £40,000 when new, they charge you £350 extra for the first 5 years. So
Wow.
while that car should be charged like something like 150 to 180, they charged me £570 for it. So I have to pay that every year until next, I think, 2025.
Ugh.
So there was that, and then my insurance went up. I had to pay car insurance, which cost me £800 almost, which was £100
Wow.
more than last year. But that's the thing, like, because insurance has
Wow.
gone up for everyone, this is the first year
Mhm.
for a long time that people have stayed with the same company, because moving is more expensive than staying, which has never
Yeah.
happened. Usually it's always cheaper to move companies. So I
Yeah.
paid, what's that? It's like almost £2,000 in car costs, which I thought I had calculated for, and I'd never had enough money in my car fund for it to pay everything. So I've
Oh,
had to
wow.
use extra money from my emergency fund to pay for that stuff. And I was like,
Yeah.
why? Why did I not have the money? I thought I set aside
Mm.
every month, I set aside money specifically for the car,
Yeah.
but I just didn't have enough. And so I felt stupid. Felt like a failure. Why did I do this? But
Mm.
if I think about it really, um, I got through it and I didn't go into debt. So it's not the
Yeah.
end of the world, but I did feel like I
Yeah.
wish I'd done it a bit
Uh,
better. So
but it's, it's that's life, right? Like you're never fully prepared for life. There's always something that's gonna catch you off guard. Like you could plan, you could eat healthy, you
mm,
could never smoke. Like you hear those stories, right? Oh, Bob died of lung cancer, never smoked a cigarette in his
yeah,
life, right? Like there's things that happen that you try your best to prepare for. I guess what's make life so beautiful, because it's very unexpected. There's things that happen that you don't account for, and it is scary, but there's some, I think there's a little bit of beauty in, because if everything was like mapped out for me, I don't know
yeah.
about you, for me, I don't know if it would, hold the same
Be
value.
pretty
So
boring, wouldn't it?
yeah, so you're never truly prepared for life. But this is the good thing about it, because you were prepared to the best of your abilities. So in the end, you're fine, right? Even though it didn't go exactly how you planned it. But let's say if you just didn't even have a car fund,
Mm,
right? And you're just like blowing your money, going on vacation and doing all these
yeah.
things, and then you get hit with this £2,000 bill. Now you're in debt, right? So it could be it could be worse.
Yeah. It could be.
um, yeah. So sometimes I feel like the way I live life, it's I try to rationalize everything, even if something really bad
Mm.
happens. I was like, it could, and which is I don't know if that's a good way to live life or not. To always view it as, it could be worse, or even if it's something very devastating. Sometimes I feel like I should allow myself to feel the pain, allow myself to, to feel the discomfort or the disappointment, which I try. I don't know.
I think that's a good thing. That's like a deep thing because you can't like I think we talked about this before. You can't have good without bad, right? You can't have
Yeah,
comfort without being uncomfortable. So embracing those worst times is probably
yeah,
makes the good times better. You know, makes them
yeah,
more important to you. But yeah,
yeah.
it's
My wife asked me, just about like the latest developments with stuff and moving, and when I had to run doubles the last week when I was doing double shift and stuff. I don't know, I was just I was tired. Um, she asked me like, how do you feel about all of this, about the move, about moving to the AM, setting up her house, and the rent being higher and stuff like that. And she asked me like, how are you doing with this? How are you feeling? And I had to like sit and think about it. And I was like, I'm nervous. It's a new route, new hours. I have to wake up early. It's gonna snow soon because November. It's already cold
mm,
here. And soon we're gonna be getting snowstorms. Because I'm up north. Um,
mm.
I'm close to Canada.
Need to move
And
to Miami, you.
I was,
No, but then you get hurricanes,
no,
so
yeah. So she asked me like, how you feeling? I sat down and I thought about it, and I was like, I'm nervous, but I'm equipped. And she looked at me. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm equipped. Like, what do you mean? I was like, I got all the tools that I need to handle this. As of now, I'm physically healthy.
mm,
I feel strong, right? Physically, mentally. I get to wake up and go to work. I've driven in snow and stuff before. It's not my first winter here, It's not my first move. I moved from South America to
mhm,
Ohio, from Ohio to Michigan. So I got all of these reference point of reference to look back into. So, and that's a phrase that I really like. Like, yeah, I'm nervous, I'm scared, but I'm equipped. And like when you're equipped, it's like you got the necessary
mm.
tools um, to handle things. So
That's pretty good, yeah.
feel like that's how that's how I view things. Like, am I equipped? Am I equipped? But yeah, I don't know. I'm not looking forward to winter though. It's not my favorite. And like even lately, it's just been cold. You wake up, I was like, man, I don't want to go work
Mm,
out. Or I don't even want to go to work because it's so cold outside. The other day, I've been in America almost 4 years now. 2019, 20, 21, 22. Yeah. And I don't know if you have to do this in England, but in America, every day when you wake up before you leave the house, especially in Ohio, you have to check the weather. What is it going to be like today? Right? Because it could be 30 in the morning and then just drop to like 80.
what does that mean for people that don't understand
Oh,
Fahrenheit?
so it could be really cold in the morning, like freezing,
Yeah,
and then just hot and humid in the afternoon,
okay.
if that makes sense. Um, And I haven't gotten into the habit of that yet. I've been here for so long. Because in Suriname, you just wake up, it's either sunny or it rains.
Yeah.
Like those are the only two
Yeah.
options, right? You don't have anything else that fluctuates. But here it's like either really warm in the morning and it just like the temperature just drops, or it'll be really cold in the morning and then it'll get really high in the
That's
afternoon.
strange, that.
So I
Is
woke
that
up,
just,
yeah.
spring and autumn? I assume winter's just cold.
Yeah, winter's just cold. Yeah, you'll have like during fall you'll have just like a beautiful day when it's like
Yeah, it's
nice and
like that
warm,
here
and
when
then
I'm on,
just
yeah.
yeah, the next day it's just like freezing where you need layers.
'Cause I
um
hate 'cause
and I
yeah.
woke up.
Yeah, yeah, you wake up?
Oh no, yeah, I woke up and I put on my shorts, I put on a shirt, and I woke up a little late, so I had to like brush, get ready for work, made myself a peanut butter sandwich real quick, went out the door, and the cold just smacked me in the face. And I was like, oh, do I want to go back in, put on pants? This was like that
Yeah.
5 second decision. I was like, nah, it's gonna warm up. I'm fine. Dude, all day I was just like freezing my butt off. I was just like in the truck, like I'm cold. I was just like arguing with myself, like, you should have gone back. But that's the thing, right? Like I didn't wake up, I didn't check what the weather was going to be like. So that's the one thing I hate about, I guess, fall. It's not consistent. It's like nice day for a picnic, and then the next day it's like layers, and the next day, so I don't like it. But winter, man, winters here in Michigan, they're pretty rough. The winter storms, they get rough. So, but I'm excited to be off the clock earlier because last year I had to drive in 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock back home
Oof.
for a winter storm. This one time my wiper stopped working because the snow was so heavy. You can't stop because, so in Michigan it's very naturey. So there's a lot of lakes as well. I think it's the one of they have the, the most amount of body of water, I think, in the United States.
The Great Lakes, isn't it?
But most of these,
The
pardon?
Great Lakes.
Yeah. Um and then some of these neighborhoods, like they're like around lakes. So you, you have to go around these lakes and it's like very bendy and curvy. It's very beautiful though. But during winter, it sucks. And I don't like being on the highway during winter time. So I kind of take the back routes, but obviously those routes don't get plowed,
Mm.
excuse me, as much. So just with not having to be on the road at night, that's something I am looking forward to with my new schedule, because it was scary last year. I had to like pack overnight bags often. My wife would put like bread in my
Mm.
bag, peanut butter, blankets, extra underwear. She's like, just in case you get stranded somewhere. Yeah,
Oh, I just thought
that's
about that. 'Cause my new shifts are 7 till 7, so it just means you go to work in the dark and you come back home in the dark. It's
mm,
like,
yeah,
so you I guess gonna have to spend more time outside the engine room to make sure I get some sunlight
yeah,
'cause it's
yeah. Do you supplement like with
vitamin D.
like do you get like vitamin
Yeah.
D? Yeah. Yeah, it's not something I ever did until I got here. My wife was like, because I was feeling a little
Mm.
off. To be fair, I was like, man, like we probably need to supplement with vitamin D because I got here during winter time, and just like
Yeah. You're a brown boy.
like you wake
You
up,
have to
yeah,
yeah, for me, it was, I actually got diagnosed with a vitamin D deficiency 'cause my
yeah.
fingers started hurting, and they checked me for, arthritis, but it turns out
Mhm.
my vitamin D was super low. So once I started taking that,
Do you
my fingers just
do you know
mm,
do you know? So do you know? I don't know if you know this, but like with B12, right? Sometimes you'll take B12 pills and your stomach doesn't absorb it, so you need like
mm.
shots. Do you get sufficient, like the value, like when you take vitamin D, like when you take it, do you know if the value is like sufficient?
It is, 'cause I have been tested, and it was higher than it should have been. So it does work
Okay,
through my stomach.
is it like just is it like vitamin D3, like what exactly, do you know exactly what you're taking? Because it's There's not just
Oh,
there's vitamin
yeah.
D3, I think, and
Um,
a lot of other different Ds.
yeah, D3. I take the D3.
Okay.
And you gotta make sure I think you take vitamin K as well with that. So it's like a complex. I think there's zinc and K and
Yeah.
stuff in it.
Okay. I have a hard time swallowing pills. I have a problem with my esophagus.
Yeah.
So if the pill is too big, it's hard for me to swallow and I almost choke on it. And if it's too small, sometimes it'll get lodged in my throat. So I'll feel it there for like
I know what you
hours.
mean. I've had
I
that
hate
before.
it. Yeah.
I'd look into sublingual stuff. So you can either take it as droplets, put it in a drink like orange juice or water. That I had one of them for ages and I loved that. Have you heard of Thorn?
No.
A vitamin company from America, I think, but they like really make they're very expensive, but they make really good stuff. And they've got a liquid one. Um, but there's also something called sublingual. So you put the liquid underneath your tongue and it absorbs straight into the bloodstream.
It absorbs
Yeah,
it.
so I'd look into that. So it's more liquidy and it doesn't have to go through the digestion process to be absorbed. It's just straight into the bloodstream.
Okay.
I have seen B12 you can take like that and vitamin D,
Yeah.
which I personally have. But I just
Yeah.
the issue I also have with supplementation because I take a lot of supplements. I take a B complex, a B1, vitamin D, and sometimes I take magnesium. And I find because of my stomach issues, I find that because I'm taking so many powders because
Mm-hmm.
it ends up irritating my throat because I have a
Mm-hmm.
hiatus hernia, so sometimes my stomach contents comes up, and I
Mm-hmm.
just don't feel good taking all the supplementation. So I think it's best. So if I only take vitamin D and B1, and the rest I try just to get it from my food, because
Good. Yeah.
it just doesn't feel good taking all that stuff.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it's
Yeah.
good for you, to be honest, taking so much stuff every day.
I don't know. I don't know where the science is about that because, like, when I was doing my course, we talked a lot about supplementing if you can't find it, but supplements should be used as supplement and not as a
Mm,
main. Just like you said, right? That's why it's a supplement,
yeah.
supplemental. A lot of people will try to get it as their like their main source. It's no, like it should be if you can't find sufficient source of it in your meals and then you supplement. It's not like you need this pill case and just and I don't know if it's like this in UK, but in America, there's a lot of addressing the symptoms and not the cause, right? So like
But I think that's the problem
I
because doctors will give you medicine, like they're just
yeah,
addressing the symptoms. Whereas I think
yeah,
that's why people buy supplements because they're trying to figure out themselves. And they found
yeah,
something online that says, "Oh, you probably got magnesium
yeah,
deficiency, so you can't sleep well,"
yeah,
or you know, we all
yeah,
have. I think we probably do all have deficiencies just because of the way food
yeah,
is nowadays.
yeah,
But
yeah. I don't think we get the, the amount of nutrients from just our groceries that we get in the store now. We talked about
mm,
it last time how you know everything that says organic isn't 100% organic anyways, right? There's just a lot of things missing. I just have been awful with my diet since we moved. Because when we moved, it was just crazy. It wasn't couldn't cook. And I was looking at our budget, and I was like, oh, too much Taco Bell here, too much this there. So we're getting back into it. But it was we couldn't cook because we were in the process of
mm,
moving, and once we got here, like we needed to go grocery shopping because we didn't want things to go bad. Um, while we're moving and stuff like that. So last week, oh, it was horrible. I ate out more than I usually that I want to.
yeah,
But man, I will tell you, man, American fast food,
I really want to
that
try
magic
it.
that they do with their chemicals. Are you ever gonna visit?
Yeah, I'd love to. I'm going to Suriname next year, so
Yeah, we talked. Yeah, I remember us talking
and
about this.
I
Are you staying with Oma
I think so
when you
for a
go?
little bit, yeah.
Okay,
But I'm going with
get back.
Naomi, so I don't know. I heard she got strict again, so we'll see.
But yeah, no. So, but okay, can I ask why Suriname? Like, why do you want to go to Suriname next year?
Well, um,
Because based off how everything's going, like it's probably not the safest place to be right now.
no. Um, well, I want to show Naomi where I come from.
Where you came
Uh,
from? That makes
I
sense.
want to eat all the good food, and I I think because I told her that it never really feels like a holiday for me. It's just going back home. We're gonna spend some time with that, going to the jungle, try and find a resort somewhere, and experience
Bergendal.
something like that, something that I
Yeah,
wouldn't really do as a local person.
yeah.
Um, so
You should bring her to Galibi.
yeah,
See the sea
that's
turtles at night.
definitely something that we'd love to do. So there's
Yeah.
that.
But I will tell you this: if you go to Galibi, make sure you have your like dude like mosquito repellent.
Mm.
It's insane because you go at nighttime to see the sea turtles and you're getting eaten alive.
I have
So
been, but I don't
make sure you
remember
have,
mosquitoes.
yeah.
Uh,
At least when I went and like we're locals as well, so we don't. It doesn't necessarily bother
mm.
us as much. But Anne was so. I'm assuming Naomi is gonna.
Okay, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Uh,
I'm not talking about you and me. I'm talking about for the foreigner.
um, but
Hmm.
yeah, so just I want, and obviously visit family, and we're also
Yeah,
saving money to try and bring as much stuff as we can next year. Um,
yeah,
so if you have any idea what
that would
people
be nice.
need, because I remember when I was a kid, it was always awesome when somebody came and they brought loads of goodies, and for the first time, I'll be able to do that. So I'm excited.
Yeah, yeah. I know that chocolate is something.
I was thinking
Chocolate is always
chocolate,
something. Like
but
yeah, yeah,
yeah, I was thinking chocolate.
yeah.
Uh,
Chocolate. It's also hard, right? Because you don't want to have bulky stuff.
No.
Like you want to have enough space for a lot of stuff. You
Well,
could bring. But
we want to bring
yeah,
an extra suitcase. So we'll travel with 3 suitcases so
yeah,
we can stuff it full.
yeah.
But I
I
was
know.
thinking so
I know
far,
cereal is hard to
really.
find.
Oh, my boy
Yeah,
loves the Weetabix, doesn't she?
yeah. She loves a
Might bring some
Weetabix.
Weetabix. I was thinking like perfumes and maybe some like Nike t-shirts, that type of stuff, caps
Yeah,
maybe because it's a
yeah,
hot country. So something like that. We'll see.
yeah. Um, but no, it would be nice if you could visit the United States as well. So we could also do like an episode where it would be
Oh,
like
that'd be
one
awesome.
room.
Yeah.
That would be dope. Yeah, it would be awesome. Um, and yeah, Michigan is beautiful, man. Like all so I don't really understand how it works. Okay, I'm not a Michigan expert, but there's two parts to Michigan. There's the lower and the upper
Mm.
peninsula, right? It's kind of like this. Um, and then further up north you go, the more naturey it gets. I heard it's so
Mm.
beautiful. There's like lakes and cabins, and I think you could see the northern lights from close to
That's on
here
my
as
bucket list.
well.
That.
Yeah, that's I also want to see that. I can't go to Canada because I need a visa. Um, go, but I'm also looking into becoming a citizen, so that's something I need to get on
Can you do
next
that
year.
straight away, or is it after
Um,
5 years?
I think I already qualify. I've been here long
Might as
enough.
well do it.
Yeah, yeah, and then I could just drive to Canada, and see.
Niagara
It's so
Falls.
beautiful here, man. I don't know. I don't know where Niagara Falls
It's
is.
on the border, I
I'm
think.
not that okay. I it would be nice to have a family member visit.
I would love to.
So
It's
yeah,
but because I'm so self conscious. I'm so how do you say that? conscious of how much money everything costs now. Like I can't just say, "Oh, I'll just go
Yeah.
do this, do that."
Yeah,
So
yeah, no, I
I
get it.
think
I I wonder how much a ticket is from England to
it's
here. I
cheaper to
don't
fly
think
to America
pro
than it is Suriname.
yeah, to Suriname. Yeah.
um,
But it's probably cheaper to go to vacation in Suriname than it is than in
yeah,
America. Would you
yeah,
say? Like once you're in the
yeah,
country, like
definitely.
spending wise and stuff like that. Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe you never know nowadays.
I mean, but you'll be staying with me, so it's not like you have to pay
Okay,
for a hotel or
no,
whatever. Um,
I think probably maybe the year after 2025, because
yeah,
we're thinking about
yeah,
Iceland, but Iceland won't be as expensive as like it's
yeah,
expensive being there because I want to see the Northern Lights as well. So that's why I want to go to
yeah.
Iceland. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, because we were thinking we could do 2 trips that year, but at the minute the
Yeah,
focus is on Suriname,
yeah,
and we already have we're going in September because then it's still summer
yeah,
there, but
yeah,
we're it's school here, so it's cheaper.
yeah, yeah. If you want to switch topic
Yeah,
real quick, so this is yeah, our final episode from first
yeah.
season. Um, we have a bunch of plans. We talked about what we wanted to do after we
Oh
finish this
yeah.
episode or this season and stuff like that. How have you experienced this? It's not as easy as 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 I thought it was.
What you mean?
You know, it's like when you're watching an episode. I don't know if you ever watched the Joe Rogan podcast or whatever. Like he's like the number one podcast in the world, and they're just like flowing and just talking, and then topics come
Mhm.
up, and then like there's this guy Jamie that will just pull up a fact
Yeah,
real quick if so they make it look so easy, but like once you're actually talking to somebody, it's like once the topic is finished, it's like there's a pause, and then it's maybe it's lack of me not, I guess, preparing sometimes enough
I've
ahead of
definitely
time. It's also
felt like
because
that, unprepared.
yeah.
But
Yeah, but
I don't think it's been too bad flow wise. I don't think so. Like it could have been
okay,
worse. Like sometimes I feel like oh it's gonna stop and then you'll say something, you know. So it's like it
yeah,
works. It works.
yeah,
Um, but like I think we've come a long way with technical wise. Like I think the first
yeah,
episode was pretty bad technically
yeah,
compared to where we've come to now.
yeah.
Um, so, but
I
uh, I think it's, I think having a discussion every week or every couple of weeks, I think it's helped me mentally. Like
okay,
it's like I don't know how to say this. This is like this is just like open, honest discussion, right? There's no like when you're I don't know if you feel it like, but when you're out with
there's no
no,
politics.
no, it's just
Yeah,
like you can just. I think it helps, because we're humans and humans are social creatures. So
yeah,
I think
yeah,
it's good just having a discussion with someone.
yeah. I think it helped me as well because there's not a lot of people that want to have the discussions we have. Like I know the people I work with, or like my wife, she doesn't always want to talk about fitness and you know and all of these things that we talk about. It's like we do have conversations, but I feel like this is more intentional. Like there's a topic, we dissect it, and we think about it and think about the cause. Where it's when I talk to my wife, it's life. We hang out and stuff like that. It's different, and even though we're married, we share some common interests. There are things that interest her that don't interest me
Mhm.
whatsoever, or there's things that interest me that don't interest her. So when I talk to her about it, she's just being nice and just listening, but she could care less,
Yeah.
right? Or when she talks to me about certain things, I'll listen and nod my head, but I don't, you know, really. But I feel like when like two men are talking, it's more there's more in common there, I guess, than when you're talking to other people. But yeah, it's helped me a lot as well. Because like I said, there's people that I work with that they don't necessarily care about budgeting or
Mm.
or health or how they eat and what makes the world go around. Like
Yeah.
some people just don't care, right? So it's hard um to find people that have the same way of thinking, I guess. Excuse me.
Mm.
But I don't know. But I've been liking it. I've I have a friend, so I don't know if we could schedule her. She lives in Rwanda, and she
Is that
was
the
just
country
in
where England are
Michigan.
deporting people to?
I honestly
I
don't
think it
know.
is. Yeah. Well, they're trying to strike a deal with them to to send refugees to Rwanda.
To Rwanda. I heard it's a it's a pretty good
Yeah.
country. Like
Okay, that sounds.
um, but she lives there. She's in America. She's from
Yeah.
Texas. She lives in Rwanda. Um, and I talked to her. I was like, "Hey, how's living life there as an American with what you're used to in America? You have being
Mm.
comfortable, and now you live in Rwanda, which it's not a first world country. I think it's definitely developing, and so she has some interesting stories that you wouldn't mind sharing with us, and the work that she's doing there, obviously. But it was nice seeing her. I met her when she was like 22. She was in Suriname. Um, Straight out of college, just moved to a different country. Um, and now she's in Rwanda. Her and her husband, actually, when he proposed, they were in Suriname and he wanted to go to Peru. I think it was
Mm.
Peru and get married there. So he planned out a route to drive to Peru from Suriname. He bought a motorcycle, he modified it, and they left. So once the school year ended, they were done teaching. They packed up and they're like, "All right, we're driving to Peru on our
Freaking
motorbike."
hell.
We
Did they
said,
make it?
"Yeah, we said goodbye." They did, but they had to hitchhike the last part because in Suriname when you go to Bronsberg, sometimes like the roads are like what's it called,
Mm.
inaccessible. They I think were stuck like waist high in like mud and like bauxite roads. So the bike just died. I don't know the extent to the story. I'm sure she'll be able to
Yeah.
explain it better once she gets on the show. Um, they had to like ditch the bike. They caught a ride with I think they were gold workers or something like that, and they gave him the bike. They're like, "Hey, can you just bring us to this destination?" And they made it, and they got married in Peru. The pictures are beautiful.
Peru, freaking hell.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, man, like that guy must really love you to to plan your dream wedding out for you like that. But yeah, so they went Suriname, Guyana. Uh, I don't know,
Mm.
but they drove on a motorcycle to get married in Peru from Suriname. Insane, insane. So yeah, she has some interesting stories. So yeah, she's probably gonna be one of our guests. I don't know if she's gonna be our next guest, but you know, there's I told you about this person that lives in
Mm.
Qatar as well that wants to share her experience living in Qatar. Surinamese person who's living in Qatar. So we got a couple of guests lined up, I guess, for season 2 because we're wrapping up season 1
Mm.
with episode 10, and I think we're planning on bringing guests
Yeah.
or bringing guests on. So if you're watching this episode, actually, if you have some input, I don't know if you've lived, in interesting life, or if you're somewhere, if you're a Sudanese person living somewhere that we don't know about, just reach out to us and tell us your story, so we could maybe bring it up on the pod as well. But yeah, I've been liking it, man. I have a friend in Wisconsin, I think, that's been listening to our podcast, and he'll send me a text. He's like, "Hey, Let's do your podcast. So what's happened in Suriname? Or you to just start asking me stuff about Suriname or whatever we're talking
Mm.
about that day. So that feedback has been nice. It's been nice that some people are at least engaged.
Yeah.
I know it's pretty small.
Yeah. It is, but like I think the not an issue, but you're still trying to figure out the direction to take it in, you know?
Yeah,
And once that clicks, I think once we find what we want, where we want to take this, it'll make more sense. But right
yeah,
now, we're just trying to figure it out,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah. But it's good, like you said, it's good to have a conversation. And I think more men need to just find a nice group,
Mm.
group of other men, not just in a bar or whatever, just to have a couple of conversation. I actually met somebody here who was into jiu-jitsu and sports and stuff like that that I'm trying to get like some time with so I could spar or I could hold mitts and stuff like that because I don't have
Mm.
anybody to hold mitts for me. I do have like a boxing stand that I hit, but you know, I don't know, man. It's hard finding people that want to be active, I guess. Everybody's just so busy with life.
Yeah.
Like, go from work, come home. You don't want to go sweat, especially when it's cold. You just came from outside and then you have to go back outside. you know, I've noticed that being in a place where it gets colder, it's harder. It's harder to get out of the house. Like yesterday, I came home at 2 and I ate and I was okay. I'm gonna go get a workout in because I've been worked out in 2 weeks now, almost 2.5 weeks, and it's just so cold, man. I put on a
Yeah.
hoodie
And it's just like, oh, it's
and I
cozy.
said, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, it's so cozy." But then I talked to myself. I was like, you know what,
Uh,
you won today. You won today. I talked to the inner, yeah. So I'm talking to my inner. Have you ever seen the meme, your inner Kermit?
no. Oh,
So it's where
where he's wearing the hoodie, the dark side.
yeah, 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 yeah. Sometimes my inner Kermit wins, you know. I was like, I'll just lay.
Mhm.
I'll just lay here. Pet my cat, pet Momo. Um
With some hot
uh
chocolate.
but oh, I will say I got into coffee these
Ooh,
past 2 weeks,
okay.
which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. So when we moved, I was running doubles. I was
Mm.
tired. I had to wake up early. After we were done moving, I'm sorry. I woke up one day, I had to go to work. I ran doubles. I did like 13-hour days.
Mm.
By Thursday, I was done. I was like, my body hurts. I'm tired. I've been, doing 12, 13-hour day work
Yeah.
days. Our office has a espresso machine. Like our
Mm.
office has like this break room and they have all types of goodies in there. But I'm never in there. I was like, you know what? Let me try some coffee. Oh my goodness, dude. I took a cup of
Mm.
coffee, finished it. It was 2 o'clock. I felt like I could go for 2 more weeks. Like the amount of the
Mm.
caffeine just hit me because I don't use any substance. Like I don't use any. I only use creatine and BCAAs, branch amino
Mhm.
acids, which helps your muscle recover faster. At least that's what they
Yeah.
say. The science really doesn't point to it. But creatine helps your muscle hold more water, so you're stronger. You have a little bit more endurance. But I don't take any stimulus, right? I don't take any pre-workout. I don't take anything that'll give me that energy boost.
I love coffee.
It's a miracle. It's a miracle, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. I took that coffee at two
Mm.
o'clock. At 4 o'clock, I called my manager. I was like, I have 45 minutes downtime.
Mm.
Like I have nothing to do. I was just like moving. He was like, what? He's like, nobody has 45-minute downtime when they're doing this route.
Freaking hell.
Dude, I was on a mission. I
Mm,
was just like going, but like at 7 o'clock, I just started like winding down. I
mm.
was like,
You
okay.
start crashing.
But it was weird. Yeah, it was weird how, and I've had coffee ever since. So it's
The
been
effect gets weaker,
almost two.
right?
Yeah, it does. But now it's like the taste and the smell. It's just so good. And
What
then you
type of
have like
coffee?
almond.
Okay, so yeah.
I don't
What
know.
like what was it a latte? Was it a cappuccino?
So I had a mocha.
Okay. Milk and chocolate coffee, chocolatey coffee.
Some, yeah. So chocolate coffee. I had a latte. I had a not an espresso, because there's like, a screen and you could. But I'm not a coffee
Mhm.
expert, so I just pressed coffee, right, and it's like, okay, this and press. So now I'm gonna be looking into what type of, because I have friends that drink coffee. It's just never really appealed to me. Every now and then I would have like an iced coffee,
Mm.
or like I'll have a Starbucks iced coffee. Um, but in this experience where I was just like drained and
Yeah.
tired, and I just had that coffee and it was like whoop, I just powered up.
You should it a lot of people with ADHD actually are addicted to stimulants, like Monster, energy drinks or coffee because
Mhm,
your ADHD is you're suffering from a lack of dopamine, right? And that
mhm,
coffee or that energy drink gives you that dopamine hit you need. So it will help. Like when I'm struggling doing something and I drink a cup of coffee, i- if like it doesn't work every time because sometimes you might do the wrong thing, like play video games for six
mhm,
hours or whatever.
mhm.
But if you focus on what you want to do, you can do it. It's so much like it feels like it cuts out all the sound in your
Mhm.
head and you just focus on what you need to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, coffee is
yeah.
wonderful. But I started drinking coffee when I was like 15 in Suriname.
Okay.
So I've been drinking it ever since. Like in college, I went through drinking like 4 cups of coffee a day, but now my maximum
Mm,
is two because like I feel like it gives me like anxiety or something. Like you're
yeah.
just like,
But I think the recommended, like the safe, is like 450
mm.
milligrams a day. I don't know how much is in a cup, but I'm assuming 4 cups of coffee is past
Yeah, I think
that.
so. I think two is. I don't know. I don't want to give exact numbers, but
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
two
But I
cups is
know it
safe for
says,
me. That's what
yeah,
makes me feel not
yeah,
too bad.
yeah. When I was going through my course, they were like 450, 450 milligrams a day. That's where you want to be. And but like you said, right? You said that people with, mine is undiagnosed. So I don't want to
Mm.
give myself that label, but I'm kind of like you where you were a couple months ago, or like I think
Yeah.
I have this condition. Um that's one of my biggest fear, is that's why I try to stay away from alcohol and marijuana and
Yeah.
all of these things, because I know that, like we talked about, I have a destructive personality and tendencies. So I try to stay away from things that might, because I don't know what the effect is going to be. So I don't even want to entertain it. Right. So that's why I don't drink. That's why I don't smoke. And also, I'm a health guy. Um, but what if I have the exact same feeling, right? Like, what if I try, I don't know, something bad, like mushrooms or whatever, right? Like something that's
Mm.
bad, and it has this exact same of effect that coffee had on me. Because now it's like, oh, coffee is so good. Like, oh, I need coffee. Coffee just makes me feel so good, and coffee this,
Mhm.
coffee that, because
Yeah.
that's how my brain goes, right? So that's why I'm afraid. That's why I stay away from a lot of things. But coffee isn't too bad. It's not. Coffee is actually not a bad thing. Caffeine is not a bad thing when you think about
Mhm.
it scientifically.
But it's
It's
like
not a
everything
bad thing.
else. Like you can have too much
Yeah,
of a good thing.
yeah.
So
And it's more so the additional things that you put in your coffee, like the cream and the sugar, like just a cup of coffee in itself,
mm.
not a bad thing. I heard this theory. I don't know if it's true, and I did hear it on a Joe Rogan podcast, that coffee break, the American coffee break, was introduced so that people would do more work after they had their coffee break. So it's not more so for the employee, but for the employer, because the effects of a coffee break gives them that energy to go and do more work. If that makes sense. But yeah, um, it's insane. I feel like I'm at that point where now it's like even thinking about talking about it right now. I want a cup of coffee. It's also cold, so it's cold right now.
Coffee's
So
delicious. It is delicious.
it is. I love how it smells.
Mm. Like for
I
me, it
love
was
how it
always
smells. It smells so
lattes.
good.
I love lattes.
What's a latte? Okay, so
Okay,
break it
so
down to me.
the big difference between a latte and a cappuccino is the way it's poured. So a latte
Okay.
has more liquid in, so it's very milky. But a cappuccino is light, so you're throwing, after you've steamed the milk, you're throwing the froth
Okay.
into the coffee, so it's lighter. It's a lighter drink. It's very Italian. You have that before midday. It's like a breakfast drink. But the reason why I
Okay.
like lattes is because there's more liquid in. So I like milk. It's more of a milky coffee.
Okay.
It,
Okay.
but they're both steamed. Like they both are made effectively the same as espresso shot and steamed milk. Just the way it's poured.
Okay.
One's
Yeah. Yeah.
milkier
Yeah.
and one's just like frothy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And a mocha, I don't know if that's like a latte
I
with
think
some
that's
chocolate,
chocolate.
but it's something like
Yeah.
that. But it's also milky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mochas are tasty, but yeah,
Do you guys have
yeah.
Starbucks? Are you like a Starbucks guy?
Um, no, I mean, yeah, I like Starbucks. Starbucks is my favorite coffee place only because I find that their coffees are quite consistent. Because if you go to another
Okay.
place like a Costa or something, I find that sometimes, well, no, not Costa. Costa's pretty good as well, but there's another place here called Cafe Nero, and I found
Mm-hmm.
often sometimes they might burn your coffee. You ever taste a burnt coffee where it's bitter? Um, it's not consistent. Whereas Starbucks, it's inoffensive. It's not the best coffee, but they'll make it the
Yeah.
same pretty much every time. So
Hmm.
but the issue with Starbucks, it's expensive, very expensive.
It is. Yeah. It is.
I would look into
Do
something called
you?
an AeroPress if you ever want to dabble at home.
Okay.
Allows you to make pretty tasty coffee at home, and there's no machine or anything. It's just a plastic thing
Yeah.
that you can make it with. There's
Hmm.
also like a cafetiere, that kind of stuff, but I've never liked coffee from those. I always find
Okay.
them too bitter.
There are two. I think two big places here. One's obviously Starbucks, and the other one's Big B. There's a Big B, and I had a iced coffee
Mm.
there, and it was really good. In Suriname, Krasnapolski had an iced coffee place when I was
Oh.
there, and every now and then
Ritual
I
or
would,
something.
yeah, Ritual. They had a really good iced
I love
coffee.
the iced coffee from the cinema.
Oh, I never had
Yeah, I
it.
used to get
I don't
one
think I never
every
had it.
time. A nice coffee and a Coke. Too much because I love that caffeine so much.
Ah,
um,
not good for your heart, man.
no. But I was younger. I was younger. I
Ah,
couldn't do that now.
yeah, I'm always nervous. I'm nervous about my heart sometimes. I don't know why. It's one of my fears. I've been locked into it lately. I want to get my heart checked out
What's wrong?
because so I have shoulder issues,
Yeah.
right? I don't know how and I don't know why. Because this is my power arm, my hitting arm. Even
Mm.
when I played volleyball, I would spike with my right. So I've never really overused my left
Mm.
shoulder, but since 2016, I've had chronic shoulder pain. And it's just lately been getting worse. And it's been spreading towards my chest and my back.
Mm.
So I was like, I'm sure I don't have heart problems, but I don't know for sure. So there's that little insecurity in my head. So
Mm.
I need to get it checked out just to be
Yeah.
sure. Like, okay, no, it's just your shoulder and it's not your heart. So whenever I drink coffee, it's that if my heart's racing a little bit, I was like, is this actually really good for me right now?
Yeah.
But
It
yeah,
does. Yeah.
I have physical therapy next week for my shoulder though. So, but yeah, I um I am figuring out how the body works as I go. I figure out what my knee problems are. My chronic knee
Mm.
pain, I figured it out. It wasn't actually my knee, it's my hip. That's the
Really?
problem. Which, yes. So I've been doing strength and correction exercises. I've been foam rolling it. I bought this ball, or Anne bought me this ball for a present, and I've been rolling my hips. I've been stretching it. Once I do certain stretches, the pain in my knee is just gone.
Really?
6, 7 years, this thing's been bothering me. And as I went to physical therapy, they worked on my knee. They worked on my knee for years, and it would relieve it a little bit, but it would just come right back. Once I started looking into what causes knee problems, it most of the time originates in the hips. So I've
Oh.
been massaging it, yeah, and stretching it and foam rolling it, and so I figured out what's wrong with my knee. I still have to figure out. I'm going to physical therapy.
Mm.
I hope they can help me figure it out. But if they can't figure it out, I'm probably gonna have to look into it, because I did go to physical therapy for my knee, but they never looked at my hip. They always looked at my knee, and they couldn't figure it out. And internet, man, the
Yeah.
internet is a beautiful place.
Did you not have
'Cause-
surgery in
and
your shoulder?
I had surgery in my left knee.
Okay.
I had a torn ACL, which I didn't know I had a torn ACL for years.
Reckon I'll.
I kept playing sports on it, and my knee kept popping out of the joint. I was like, I damaged this knee. I have like a scar on my meniscus. There's a small tear there. Just because of all the times it would pop
Yeah.
out and pop back in. Um, that's why I became a personal trainer, man, so that people wouldn't have to do to their body what I did to mine. It's I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot.
Reckon being human, eh?
Yep.
Hard.
Hmm?
Being a
What
human,
did you say?
it's hard.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because your body just there's an expiration date, man. Kind of like a car, right? Like you drive your car, and before you know it, the axle, and then your struts, and then all the stabilizer needs changing. Like you put your body through what I put my body through.
Would you have
It's
when the future is here and we can have bionic knees and bionic shoulders? Are you gonna take them?
if it's if it's a 95% success rate. Like, for example, my ACL,
Mm.
right? When I tore it, when I went to the doctor, she gave me two options. She said, you could use your hamstring. We could take a graft, take a piece of your hamstring
Mm.
away and form a new ACL, or use a cadaver from a dead person.
Yeah.
In my head, I was like, I don't want a dead person piece in my body. So I said, go ahead and take my hamstring. But I did not do research that when they take a piece of your hamstring, they drill a hole in your I don't know if you could see. So do you see that scar right there?
I can't see you at all, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, you'll probably see it on the
Yeah.
video. They drill a hole from here all the way into your hamstring. They cut it and then they pull it out. Right? So that's an injury in itself.
Yeah.
So you have to heal from that as well. And not only that, now you have instability because your hamstring is gone, so it's weaker. So my left leg is weaker than my right leg. I didn't know that. I didn't do the research. If I had done the research, I would say go with the cadaver, because that's only one um, injury that I have to deal with, is where you cut me
You
open.
didn't ask the doctor?
So now I asked them. She's like, "You're gonna be fine. It's gonna be a little bit of instability, but you could work your way up. But the recovery, I'm fine,
Oh.
and you will be fine. It's just the recovery time is twice as long. It takes like 6, 7 months, 8 months. If you're a professional athlete and you have the best doctors in the world and you have like hundreds and thousands of dollars to spend, then yes, you could recover and be back on the field in 6 months. But if you're a normal person with normal health
Mm.
benefits, it takes 9 months, a year. And then with the hamstring, it's double the amount of time to recover
hell.
from it. Right? So I'm still doing my exercises. My hamstring is significantly weaker. My left is significantly weaker than my right. And I didn't know that, right? I did ask the doctor, and yeah, she was like, yeah, you're going to be fine. I am fine. It's just,
It could have been different.
if I wanted to, it could have been a lot better. So I will say if somebody is watching this and you need to replace your ACL, do your research. I would go with a cadaver. But this is the problem with a cadaver. Your body can reject it.
Because it's someone
That's also
else's.
one of the main reasons. Yes. So that's what I asked the doctor. She's like, your body can reject it. When you use your own, it's not foreign. You use your hamstring. It's just the recovery time.
So
Oh
it's
my goodness.
what's it? It's is it like what do you call it? You know, yeah,
Tendon?
it's a tendon.
Yeah, it's a tendon.
So
So what the
the
ACL?
humans haven't invented a synthetic tendon yet that they can stuff inside you.
I don't think so.
Too
No.
bad.
So I'm sure they're pretty close. I'm sure they're pretty close. The ACL holds your knee so that your knee doesn't do this or do this, right? It keeps it nice and stable and that it doesn't twist.
Yeah.
When I tore mine, I over rotated my knee because I planted my foot, turned, and then it snapped. Pop!
Oh.
And it only hurt for like 5 seconds when it
Yeah.
snapped. It's like a loud snap, a loud pain, like a very intense pain, but then it's gone
What
because it's completely
when
severed.
that happened? So it wasn't just a tear, it was a full on break.
It was full on tear, like a full tear.
Okay. The whole thing.
Yeah, it
What could
tore
have happened back
away.
then? You would have had to have surgery when it happened as well? You
Yeah, once it's torn, it's gone. You can't do therapy.
correct that, man.
Yeah, and the thing is, you can live with a
Is
torn
this
ACL.
because you're wearing the wrong shoes? Anything like that? Is something that
No,
prevented
it comes all back to your hips.
because you can
So
damage your knees in football or soccer if you wear
yeah,
the wrong shoes on artificial grass.
yeah, I'm
You
sure
know,
like
because it can.
your
Mm,
yeah, your feet like dorsiflexion has it's all connected. It's all connected, right? Your ankles to your knees to your
mm.
hips. If there's instability somewhere else will suffer. So if there's instability in your ankles, if you're wearing the wrong shoes, whatever, your hips or your knees could suffer. If you have instability in your hips, your knees
Because
can suffer. It's all
like a
connected.
weak core can cause a lot of problems in your body, can't it? Because you
Yes.
can be like
Yeah.
leaning the wrong way
Yeah.
or
Yes.
yes, okay.
Yeah. So, but like I said, I wasn't
Yeah,
educated. So when I was going to the gym, I was this athlete. All I thought about was squats.
just
Excuse
to
me.
make it
Squats.
stronger.
Yes, but squats will just build up your quads. But what about all the supporting muscles? Right? So now I'm doing like very boring exercises like hip thrusts and crab walks and lateral raises, like all of these feminine exercises that a lot of women do. Because women really focus on their glutes a lot. But a lot of athletes don't know, a lot of men don't know that those same feminine exercises will give them longevity if they want to play sports for a long period of time. So I've been really diving into how can I keep like kicking a soccer ball with my grandchild or my kids
Mm.
and be able to move around like without, you know, deteriorating as fast. And there's a lot of little things that you could do. A lot of small exercises. Just buy a rubber band and walk sideways. Walk backwards on a treadmill that's off.
Yeah.
Sleds like sled pulls, like walking backwards. Stretches. It's very interesting. A lot of people think that you just need strong legs. You just don't. It's not just your legs, man. It's your hips. It's your core. It's your ankle. It's your shins. Like you need to take care of every single part. It's like you said, when you change your tire, you cannot just change one, right? Because it'll damage the other part of your car. It's the same with your body. And I was focusing on the wrong things. I mean, it's better than
Mm.
not for the average person. If you just squat, like it's but like when you're an athlete and then you have to change direction on a dime, like split second decision, you
Mm.
have to turn. If you have imbalances, something's gonna snap, and that's what happened to me, and I didn't know.
Freaking hell.
So yeah, so I'm still working on my personal training business, but like that's what I'm going to focus on once I start. It's not if you want to be the biggest jacked up dude. That's you don't want to see me, right? Because that's for me. That's not healthy. That's not health. If you want to compete, be a bodybuilder. Go ahead. Take your supplements. Take your what's it called? Your
Mm,
steroids and whatever,
yeah.
right? Yeah. But if you're looking for longevity, if you're looking
I think
for
that's the right thing to focus
injury
on, you know?
prevention, yeah, yeah, injury prevention, longevity,
Because that
mobility.
appeals to
That's what
me, I
they'll be
think.
focusing
And I
on.
think a lot of
Yeah,
people will. I think that's what a lot of people are looking for. Because
yeah,
that's the focus
yeah.
on
But
currently, you
it's
know? Like everyone wants to eat the
yeah,
right thing so that they can live longer and
yeah,
healthier.
yeah, yeah. There's a bunch of buff dudes. In these last 3 years, they were like 30s, 32. They're jacked, six pack,
Heart attack.
big chest, big arms. They all died. They all have one thing in common. They're all dead. 30, 32, 33, and that's yeah, that's not the way to go. The fitness industry, man, it's pretty dark.
Mm, can imagine.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I do have to go. At one point though, I am taking Anne to a orchard, or we are going to a orchard today.
I'll be drinking that
It's a
wine.
fall thing. No, no, no. No,
Oh, that's
that's a
oh
vineyard,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. An apple.
Yeah, apple
Hey, you
orchard.
can drink cider. They
Do
make
you guys?
cider.
Yes, they do. Yeah, cider is not alcoholic,
Yeah, it
right?
is.
It's just. Is it?
Yeah. Yummy.
I don't know.
Yummy alcohol.
It's yummy, yummy alcohol. But yeah, it's a. I don't know if you have those in the UK,
I
but
think so.
fall it's a big deal here. So I'm gonna have to go spend some time with the wifey.
Okay, man.
Yeah, anything you wanted to add?
No,
No.
I'm good.
I think we really have to sit down and talk. Oh, not sit down and talk, but like I really have to put in the time in what our next topics are going to be
Mm.
for season 2. I'm really going to have to put effort into that because I tend to procrastinate, as you know. So, but yeah, we have to pick this back up though, at least once a week,
Yeah.
because obviously we did have good reasons we couldn't make last 2-3 weeks, but it would be nice to just consistently load up because I feel like it's also keeps traction, right? Like, but yeah, our apologies. We were really busy. I was moving. Kelvin was on vacation, so we weren't able to upload. But we will be back with more episode. If you like this episode, please give us a like and consider subscribing. If there's anything you want us to talk about, if you have a specific topic, send it to the email that Kelvin will link below. But we will be definitely uploading again once a week. That's everything. I'll see you next time.